Okay, all right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Mary. I am the Southpark Toastmaster president for this term. We meet every Monday, same time, same place. It is just such a treat to see so many new faces today. We have a really great routine that we follow every Monday so we can keep us on track. But before we kick it over to our Toastmaster of the day to explain the roles and lead us into our prepared speeches, I would love to just re-welcome all of our guests and see if we could just learn a little bit about you. So Kayla, I know you and I spoke before the meeting began. Would you mind just telling us how you heard about us and what you're hoping to get out of Toastmasters today?
Sure. So as she mentioned, my name is Kayla Simone. I found out about Toastmasters through the Women Business Center here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And basically what I'm trying to get from it is just be more comfortable with just speaking and just practice and exercise that skill.
That's awesome, Kayla. We're so happy you found us. You already sound so incredibly articulate, so we look forward to learning from you as well.
Yay, thank you.
Okay, Alicia, would you mind just telling us a little bit about you and how you heard about us, what you're hoping to gain?
Sure. My name is Alicia, and I am a non-discrimination ordinance investigator for the city of Charlotte. And I am just like all of you, hoping to improve on my speaking skills, my communication skills. And I'm just checking this group out for the first time today. I've checked out one other Toastmasters group, so just kind of listening in and seeing what it's all about, and hopefully take the jump and commit to one of them and actually be involved.
That's awesome, Alicia. I dated around quite a bit too. It was just, we call ourselves a family here, friends and family. So that's what hooked me. But you take your time and you see who feels right. But we do hope you jump in, whether it's with us or another community. All right, Laura, would you like to introduce yourself? And you're on mute currently. So let me get you, there you go.
I'll unmute myself. I am Laura Segoria. I come from New Jersey. I've only been in Charlotte about a year and a half now. I was involved in Toastmasters pre-pandemic in New Jersey, so I've not yet participated via Zoom, but I did attend meetings pretty regularly, maybe 2-3 years ago. And I thought it was a great way to improve public speaking skills, meet new people, and learn some things.
That's
so
awesome.
Looking forward to the same thing here.
Well, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Yes, we actually do have a hybrid meeting that we recently just reintegrated post-COVID. So we have some people meeting at the Southpark Regional Library in person, and then other individuals of us meet on Zoom because we live a little too far away. So, you know, you have your options. We also have a great perk here at Southpark Toastmasters to be sistered with Queen City Toastmasters. That is David Jones here on our meeting. David was the, I'm sorry, are you the president? No, you're the not VP of PR, VP of Education.
Bottom of the rank.
Okay.
I am Sergeant of Arms.
He's Sergeant of Arms. He basically but he is Mr. Queen City Toastmasters. So whenever you sign up with us or with his community, you're automatically a member of the other group. So you can join both groups. We'll put their link in so you can get their times. And if you can't meet with us on Monday, you can meet with them on Tuesday night. Okay, Benjamin, would you like to introduce yourself? I don't know if you have the ability to speak right now. You can feel free to let us know. Okay, no mic, gotcha. Okay, well, no worries. We're so happy you're here. Welcome in. We will put some emails in the chat for you if you'd like to follow up with any one of us after this meeting with any questions, if we can help you with anything. Okay, do we have some guests in person, Valencia? Let me get you unmute. You're not unmuted yet.
Thank you. We do have a few guests in the room who are here with us, and I'm thinking maybe you might need to come up to speak if you'd like to tell us how you found us and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jose Costa. I am originally from Peru. I just moved from New York to Charlotte, and I learning about the Toastmasters through the library calendar, and I would like to listen a little more to get engaged. But I like already fact that you help me to have confidence and talk to people, and that's good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm Michael Fiery. I brought Toastmasters. I had a friend about maybe almost 15 years ago that was talking about it, and she was a really good public speaker. And I'm found me in a place in my career where I just need some help to communicate more succinctly. I go on like a lot of WebEx calls and just have to talk about complicated concepts really clearly and quickly, and just need help with that. So looking forward to meeting you guys and just learning some things.
Good afternoon. My name is Son Rashid. I just moved to the area from Burlington Grand, North Carolina. I've always heard about Toastmasters, great speaking and learning concepts and ideas, how to present yourself. So I'm a frequent visitor to the library. So I said, well, let me get involved. Let me see what it's about. I already think I know how to present myself, but now I'm gonna watch some pros. So thank you again.
Thank you guys. Welcome in. We're so happy you heard about us. We're so happy you're here. We will officially begin our meeting now. So Valencia, would you like to take the mic and introduce our roles for the day?
Yes, thank you so much. Welcome, Southpark Toastmasters. I am so happy to be with you today. Our theme for this meeting is Let's Celebrate, because Southpark Toastmasters is actually celebrating 39 years of being a club. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. We have that on all of our agendas because that is our mission with every single meeting. And we hope that everyone who attends has that experience. So I'll tell you a little bit about our meeting today. We have the format where we have three major parts of our meeting. We have presentations or speeches that people prepare. And we have two of those on our agenda today. We have table topics, which is impromptu speaking, where someone might ask you a question and off the fly, you think of an answer. And then we have the evaluation portion of our meeting, where we give feedback for those speakers and for our meeting. So I'll allow some of our meeting roles to introduce themselves and tell you more about them. And today, serving as grammarian, we have Carla. She's coming up. I don't have to look for it.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. The role of the grammarian in this club is multifaceted. Number one, I present the word of the day. Grammarian does that. Number two, I listen for ums and ahs and ohs, long ends, filler words. And the third thing I do is listen for interesting word usage or interesting language usage. And then at the end, I do a grammarian report about all of that. Don't worry, because it'll all turn out good. I do want to mention that, thank you, Valencia. For those of you at home cannot see, we have little balloons here, and then they say celebrate. We're celebrating today. So our word of the day, for those of you, this is generational, but our word of the day is shindig. Shindig. And Eric is going to post it for me just because I don't have my.
I couldn't get on. Maybe Sarah Mary can do it.
Okay, Sarah Mary, you can just. And basically what it means is a big celebration or party. So depending upon, it's like a rage, a raver, a Barney get together, just depending. And it really, it's from a Scottish word, shinty, which really had to do with sort of an old rugby game where they're roughing everybody up and then they had a party afterwards. And that's the origin of the word shindig. So please, for those of you who are new and for those of you who are old, your goal today, at any point that you speak, whether you're introducing yourself or giving a planned speech or giving a spontaneous speech or giving a report, is to fit the word shindig into your report. And I will be, you're speaking, and I will be counting how many people do that. And at the end, I'll give a report on that. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Thank you, Carla. Oh, I'm gonna have to step this way. I see this being a Louisville ball moment for me. Jamil, do you have TM behind your name because you're going to serve as timer today? No?
No, but I probably renamed it from a prior meeting. I believe John is our timer for the day.
Okay, John, can you tell us about your role?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's shindig. I will be keeping track of time, making sure we all stay within the range of our time for each of our topics and speeches and evaluations today. So for instance, for our speeches, we have between 5 and 7 minutes. I will flash green at 5 minutes to let you know you're at 5 minutes and you have about 2 minutes left. I'll flash yellow when we're at 6. And I will show a nice big red at 7 minutes. And for table topics, very similar. I will show green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, and a red at 2 minutes. And last but not least, for evaluations, I will show a green at 2 minutes, a yellow at 2.5, and a red at 3 minutes. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
For our topics master today, we have David Jones. David, can you tell us a little bit about your role?
Yes, this afternoon I will be your table topics master, and I will be asking some random questions of some random people who have already picked out, and try to hit the green, as Sonia says. You just want to hit the green 1 minute and you're safe, but try to get it to 2 minutes. But you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about something as simple as you talk about at a party or a bar or event. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. And now we have our general evaluator. Eric, will you come up and tell us a little bit about your role?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Valencia. I'm Eric Laxer. I am the general evaluator today, and for our guests, the role of the general evaluator is to coordinate the evaluation portion of our meeting. We all learn through feedback and evaluation, and that is a very important part of the Toastmasters process. So you'll see more about it when I step to the podium a little, or the lectern a little bit later. Thank you.
Now we will have our invocation joke master, Debbie.
Thank you. As you're going forward with your meetings, you may be an invocation person or a joke master. And today, in thinking about our theme, which is celebration and the birthday of Toastmasters, I thought back in 1905, there was a man named Ralph C. Smedley. He was the person, he worked at the YMCA, and it was in Bloomington, Illinois, actually, and kind of in our area. And he knew, as he worked with, I think at this time it was mostly men, but he knew that they needed help in learning how to communicate and organizing and being part of meetings, and he saw this need. So he had the vision many years ago to think of Toastmasters. I know if he were to look down on us today, he would be going, they're still doing it, you know? I mean, that's amazing, actually. And it's only gotten better. And Toastmasters is now done across our country and across the whole world. It's an international group. So I congratulate all of you for being a part of it. I congratulate our club, which has been around for 39 years. Over those years, we've even adopted a sister club, which is Queen City. And Queen City is been around 40 years from what I'm told. So it was one of the first Toastmaster groups in Charlotte. So we're in good company. We are going to use tried and true methods to learn to be better communicators. We're going to have a good time along the way. And I'll leave you with one quick quote. And it says, true leadership stems from individuality that is honestly and sometimes imperfectly expressed. So we're not here to be perfect, but we're here to just practice and be authentic. And leaders should strive for authenticity over perfection. So we welcome our guests and we're welcome our members that have come back. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Before we get into our speeches, I'd just like you to know that since we don't have ballot sheets in the virtual environment, you can give feedback to speakers using the chat feature on Best Table Topic and Best Evaluator. We do have, I think, ballots here in the room to fill out. So we may be able to have a Best Speaker and Best Table Topics voted on today. That would be exciting.
Valencia, just to clarify, which where should people respond to online if they're voting? Like which participant?
Which participant?
Should it be to me? Like people might not want to vote publicly online, so should they send it to? I'm happy to receive them, or is there an individual who's ballot counting?
If they send the online one to you, would work. Yes.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, everybody send to me. I am Southpark Toastmasters. I will put a number 1 by my name since there's 2 of us on here.
Twins. All right.
We can do that as a reminder too when it gets to that reporting time. But sorry to jump in, Valencia. Go ahead. I'll pass it back to you since I stole it from you.
Thank you. All right, our first speaker will be Sonia Pons, and she is giving a Pathways speech. I don't have your level information and your speech title on my agenda. I apologize. Do we have it in the chat?
Hi, Valencia. It is from Pathways Mastery Level 3, Connect with Your Audience, and the title is Time is of the Essence.
All right. So Sonia Pons will give us a speech today called Time is of the Essence. Time is of the Essence. Sonia Pons.
Thank you, my fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, philosophers, creatives, politicians, and even those nosy family members. They have a love affair with time, and they often express it at a shindig in front of a lot of people when you just want them to be quiet. Time is a precious commodity, they say. It waits for no one. It's not your friend. But on the flip, or as the kids say today, spin the block. We're told it changes everything and it heals all wounds. Confusing much? Therefore, it's not surprising that our dance with time is often out of step. The cadence is wildly peculiar, and rarely are we the composers or the co-producers. And if we're truly honest, and I mean truly honest about our experience, we're programmed to act like the anxious fans of a Harry Styles, Beyonce, a Cardi B, or even James Taylor. We rush to make the most of time by capturing trophy moments for platforms like the book, the gram, or the new tickety-tock. Time spent has become a statement of one's importance. But shocker, Sonia Pons-Gaba, she dissents. Time is your sidekick. When you are minding your business and living your best life, you are not consumed with time limitations. I'm almost 50 years old. Catch the gray. And my best years are yet to come because I'm not chasing time. And I'm not overly consumed with filling out endless templates and check sheets. But before I go further, let's give a shout out to our Toastmaster International Curriculum Specialists for all they do to help us frame our claims when it comes to unlocking our vision as Toastmasters by providing us standard deliverables. But family, I write in pencil. And I do that because I know there's grace in the process. There is absolutely nothing that is permanent. And in my opinion, not even death. And well, let's be honest, I ain't got no ink for that and no storage on my computer for all of that. But today, as a result, my family and honored guest, welcome to the musing of my pencil sketches and my eraser marks. And remember that all things change when it comes to your intention. During a Franklin Covey class a couple years ago, I branded my mission statement to be a catalyst for empowerment. I chose that phrase because I love to see the unexpected win. In the sage words of Dorothy Rodham, the mother of Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton, she said this: everyone deserves a chance and a champion. I want my life to be an example of that call to action. So I enthusiastically say yes, even to people that I know will never, ever say yes to me. Why? Acts of empowerment need not to be reciprocal. I'm going to say that again because I think it's important for us to realize that. Acts of empowerment need not to be reciprocal. And in that epiphany over the past couple of weeks, family, I found my mission statement. I, Sonia Pons Gaba, designed acts of service to amplify opportunity, not obligations. And when I came to that moment in my life, I had a big sigh. It was life-changing. I don't want to be a debt collector of someone's time. That is not our business. Instead, I want to be an opportunity pusher. What you do with that opportunity is your business. Just make sure you take your time. Time, as I said, is always on your side. It's your faithful sidekick. So use it wisely and use it at your own pace. Now, how am I going to use my sidekick this year? Because it's a whole brand new life. One, I started dusting off my condenser mics. You can't see them here. And I began laying tracks on my work and personal podcast, Career Elevating Breadcrumbs. Do I delete more tracks than I keep? Yeah. But so what? It's my act of service and my opportunity to empower. A fellow Toastmaster who's on this line right now, David Jones, asked me to be a part of his next book, How to Do Life. I get to write a chapter about being homeless and resilient in Washington, D.C. Do I need Grammarly to make that make sense? Yes, I do. But so what? It's my act of service and my opportunity to empower. Number 3, I'm a career changer. My forever tribe are the administrative professionals, but my work is in learning and development. To elevate my tribe and other people, I want to move from being a learning technologist to an instructional designer. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Is there a podcast and certificate for that? Yes. Does my boss know I'm rewriting my position description? No. But so what? It's my act of service and my opportunity to empower. My fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, do not let your opportunities pass you by because you are waiting on or mourning time. Again, don't let your opportunities pass you by because you are waiting on or mourning time. Instead, when you are minding your business, consider crafting your vision. And don't be afraid of those occasional intentional rewrites. Why? Because it's your act of service and your opportunity. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Oof, love that. Inspiring. Now, let me tell you all that as we celebrate 39 years with, oh, I'm so sorry, the Southpark Toastmasters, that think about ways in which you celebrate. So I did bring balloons today, but what are some other things that you use when you celebrate? We have decorations, but the big thing that we use a lot of times is what? Food. We always have to have food. And the other thing that we do is dance, we play games, we do different things to celebrate. So as we go through this day and when we leave here, I just want you to think about the ways in which you celebrate big things and small things in your life. How do you celebrate the people in your life? Now, I will move on to our next speaker, Miss Dr. Alice Ann Crump. She is doing a speech called 3DTM, Project Preach, Out of Reach, 15th Annual Becoming a Young Ladies Conference. Okay, that's the title. And her introduction says, presidents are phenomenal. They create the tone and the culture of a club, and they should be celebrated. Dr. Alice Ann Crump.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Do you know a teenager with an attitude? Yeah. We all have met a teenager that had an attitude. When you was a teenager, did you have an attitude? Yeah, some of us had attitude. This year, the 15th annual Becoming a Young Ladies Conference theme is check your attitude. Every year for the last 15 years, I have hosted the ministry that I have, Teach Out of Reach. We'll talk about that name in a little bit. But every year we have a conference called Becoming a Young Lady. This conference is for young ladies ages 15 to adulthood. And this year I decided our theme would be check your attitude. When I was a young girl, and every time I had an attitude, and I put my hands on my hips, my mother would say, take your hands off your attitude. Hands off. Hands no longer on my attitude. I remember stomping my feet, mumbling under my breath, slamming doors, stomping my feet, all at a distance from my mother. Because if I was anywhere near her, I would not be standing here today. Just wanted you to know that disclaimer is out there. And yes, I was a teenager that had attitude. And I noticed that more and more teenagers are having attitude. They don't want to spend time with their families, but they're so busy. Social media, really not connected. Also, I noticed that teenagers are full of anger and bitterness. They're at that age where they're trying to find themselves within the confines of all of those limitations that us as parents or those adult figures try to put on them. Not understanding that it's for their good. I will give a prime example. I am now raising my 15-year-old granddaughter. This morning, she asked me for car fare to put on her transfer card so she could get on the bus. I'm like, your school bus come and get you. Why do I need to put money on your card? Because I volunteer to help in the cafeteria for breakfast in the morning. So I told the bus not to pick me up. You're 15. How do you make those decisions without me? She was so angry, slammed doors, because I said, the bus will be picking you up today. When I talk to an adult about your decision to help, which is a good thing. I don't have a problem with you helping, but you're 15, you don't make the decision. She slammed doors, she mumbled under her breath. That was not a fight I was willing to deal with this morning, so I let her have a super tantrum. When she realized it was not affecting me, she came and said, Nana, I really want to help in the morning. I said, that's all you needed to say. And what I said, now, that this is how we're going to deal with your limitations, that you can't have what you want when you want it and how you want it. Because I realize your whole life right now is centered on what you want. I get that. I'm not unsympathetic to that. But this is how the shindig gonna go down. You're going to ask me for what you want, and we're gonna make sure that you say. Because right now, you making the decision to go to school early, to help in the cafeteria. I don't know if that's where you really going. I'm not lying. I'm not saying you are, but I don't know that. No one talked to me. So this year, this conference, I'm really going to deal with teaching our young people what to do with the attitude. Maybe change some of those negative attitudes to some positive attitude. Because just like a tire that has blown out on your car, you're not going anywhere until you change the tire. Your attitude will not get you anywhere until you change the attitude. So in this conference this year, we're going to deal with our young people in their attitude. There are some good attitudes to have. Like, I'm more than a conqueror. Nothing's going to stop me. I can forge forward. But if you have a nasty attitude, a disrespectful attitude, the attitude that can't nobody tell you anything, we're going to have a problem. Because until you change that attitude, you won't be going anywhere. This year, November the 11th, usually the young people are out of school, all day conference from 9 to 12, well, not all day, but all morning. Conference for young lady with workbook that they receive and different activities. We're going to do it on Zoom, but we're going to have breakout rooms, different activities, and help our young people navigate through their attitude so they can go somewhere. Because truly, your attitude determines your altitude. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Alice Ann, always giving us things to think about. I appreciate that. There was an announcement put in the chat about voting for best speaker. And if you remember, that vote on Zoom goes directly to, I'm maneuvering the screen so that we won't see the chat feature here. Oh, it's still coming up. We'd like to send that to Southpark with the number 1 behind it, if you could. She's waving. And in the room, we will send those votes over to Carla. Everyone has their ballot and place your vote, and then we will move on to our next section of the meeting, our table topics master. David, are you ready to give us our impromptu speaking session?
Yes, I am. And every club is a little different. Do you all usually do a timers report, or you do it at the end? At the end? You do them after each section. And I do want to say, as your division director for C, and I'm going to be your area director, you all have 19 people. I believe there's 12 on Zoom and 7 in person. So that's very impressive for Southpark, who was struggling just 3-4 months ago, trying to have enough people in a meeting. So congratulations to Southpark leadership and all the members who have made it happen. All right, so I am your table topics master, and I will be asking some random people that have been pre-chosen already a few questions. And I want to start with a guest who has Toastmaster experience. Laura, are you available to do a table topics for us?
Sure, I'll jump in.
Perfect. Question is, with the theme, what is your favorite shindig, maybe holiday or celebration each year, and why?
Shindig, okay. I'm gonna say New Year's Eve is my #1 shindig. Not because I go out and do big partying, but because I enjoy time usually with family, close friends, and I like to evaluate sort of where I've been and where I'm going, and take that moment to think about how I want to improve in the future. So I would say maybe shindig is not the appropriate word, but New Year's introspection, perhaps. And I guess, you know, that's my favorite celebration, I would say. And also, I think because it's it touches all of us. It doesn't discriminate on the basis of your religion or your gender or anything else. Everyone can welcome the new year and appreciate a new beginning.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And that's true. That is a non-denominational holiday. So, yeah, New Year's Eve. I wanted to see also in person if Michael, a guest, if he is comfortable giving a table topics, if he wanted to come up and do it. If not, I understand. But yay. Okay. Hey, Michael. All right, go for the green. Just try 1 minute and you'll see the timer, John, right there. All right, what is the biggest celebration you've ever attended, biggest party event, and what made it special for you?
The largest party events is about 4 years ago. My wife and I moved into a house, and the HOA, they do an annual Christmas party. We were the new neighbors. We volunteered to host, and it ended up, our house isn't very big. We had about 100 people in our house, and I remember it was also raining that night. I remember it was so hot inside our house that people were going outside in the rain and getting wet. Interesting. And I also recall hosting a party at night for adults on Friday nights. You know, we're kind of like clean freaks. And so what we ended up doing is we didn't want to go to bed with a little dirty house. So we had to stay up until around probably about 1 in the morning to clean the floors and just make sure, because there was like wine spills on the carpet and things like that. I mean, you had it was quite the rager because you had about 100 adults that most of them have kids and things, and they don't get out that much, you know, so they kind of, you know, definitely had a big night. And so it was our job to clean up, and I'm glad that we did that the one time. And so now for future Christmas parties, we can just go to other people's houses. We've kind of done our due for the neighborhood. So I'm grateful to have done that because we got to meet a lot of our neighbors too. And so I don't regret doing it, but I don't have to do it again. So thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for making it to the green. And finally, Jamil, are you up for a question? Not. This is because you're a dad and because you're a sports guy. So I don't want to sway, but what celebration is overrated the most in your opinion?
What celebration is overrated in my opinion? Very interesting question, because you threw out 2 different areas. Me talking about being a dad, being a father. I have 5 kids, and then talking about sports, which there's so many different aspects involved in both. Now, I have boys and girls. I have 3 boys and 2 girls. They are all, none of them are babies. My oldest is 22, and my youngest is, dang, how is my youngest? See, when you have 5 kids, you just forget this kind of stuff. My youngest is 11 years old. So I think as far as celebrations go, if I could say that one is kind of overrated, I would say the World Series. Why? Because I'm not a baseball fan and it doesn't apply to me. Now, I have to go back to explain why I'm not a baseball fan. The big reason is because I sucked at baseball. I sucked at T-ball. Now, for those of you who may not remember, T-ball is when you take the ball, you don't throw it, you don't pitch it, you sit it still on top of a tee. Yes, I used to strike out in T-ball. Therefore, I feel like the World Series, anything baseball related, my family has been taught we will not play baseball in this house because baseball, T-ball, and everything above is evil. That's the one thing that I feel like is overrated is the World Series. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jamil. I was leading you towards something because I'm also a father and I'm also a grandfather. My thought of overrated celebrations is participation celebrations for our kids in sports. They all get trophies regardless of whether they did nothing and they had to fit in the middle of the field or not. All right, and that concludes our table topics. Don't forget to send your vote to Southpark Toastmaster #1, and I'll turn it back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love hearing about all these shindigs with our group today. Very interesting. And Michael, thank you for coming up and speaking. That was good. We love it when our guests speak. Now I will turn it over to our general evaluator, Dr. Eric Blackson.
Good afternoon once again, and thank you, Toastmaster Valencia. So as I mentioned earlier, feedback is a very important part of how we learn. And there are two parts of feedback. One is giving the feedback, honest, helpful feedback. And the second is being receptive to the feedback and taking it in a way that can help all of us improve. So with that in mind, we have two excellent feedback evaluators today, and I'd like to start by introducing Toastmaster Jennifer, who will be providing feedback from the speech provided by Toastmaster Sonia. Please join me in welcoming Jennifer.
Thank you, Sonia. Her title was Time is of Essence. And she was communicating with the audience, which was a great job because she communicated with the audience, especially with me, very well. Her speech was well organized, and her introduction was a light bulb to me. It was powerful because even when I'm writing a journal and I write it in pen, but I do notice as I go along, with days and months and years of the changes and progress that took place in my life. And I thought she communicated that very well. Her conclusion left me in awe. It made me think about my life in general and how valuable time is. And time is the most valuable resource because we cannot take it back. Sonia, you did a great job. Your eye contact, your body movement, everything was fine. And I look forward to more of your speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jennifer. And I would now like to call upon our second evaluator, Toastmaster Jeremy, who will be evaluating the speech provided by Dr. Crump. Please join me in welcoming Jeremy.
Thank you, Dr. Laxer. Dr. Crump, can't see you right now, but I know you're listening intently to what I have to say as everyone is in the room is. You always excel, and you are increasingly excelling at your vocal variety, your tone, your pitch, all those sorts of things. And I just want to point out to the other folks in the room and online, there is a great video of a TEDx speaker sort of making fun of TEDx speakers by giving a speech where he says absolutely nothing substantively. He literally begins the speech by saying things like gaga gaga, bugga bugga, things like that. But he uses such great vocal variety that you're listening and you're like, what, is he saying something? I think he might be saying something, but you don't actually know. all of that to say, Dr. Crump, that you excel at using vocal variety to keep us intently listening. You also do a great job of speaking clearly. We all understand what you're saying. You enunciate well. You use lots of different words so that you're not repeating yourself. You maintain eye contact, which is hard to do for me right now since I don't see you. But you make great use of eye contact. From what I can tell, seeing you online, you use gestures very well. I think you're very well aware of your audience to the extent that you can be doing this online. And you are certainly very comfortable. I think we can always rate you very highly in terms of your level of comfort. I think things that you could work on is giving your speeches, or in this speech in particular, more form so that it's easier to follow in terms of, here's where I'm starting out, here's where I'm going, here's where we're going to wrap it up. So that the overall message is more clearly conveyed. But overall, obviously, you did a great job, as you always do. Thank you.
Question just regarding format. Do we do a timers report now?
Yes.
Excellent. I would now like to call for a timers report, and we look forward to hearing from our timer, who is Toastmaster John. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent job on times today, folks, across the board. For our speeches today, Sonia Pons came in at 7 minutes, 2 seconds. Dr. Alassane at 6 minutes, 12 seconds. For table topics, Laura, great stretch, Laura. Notice that. You got over to 1 minute and 7 seconds. Michael, 1 minute and 7 seconds also. And Jamil, 1 minute and 49 seconds. And for evaluations, Jennifer for Sonia, 1 minute, 15 seconds. And Jeremy for Dr. Alassane, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you, folks. Back to you.
Thank you, John. And then just another format question. Can I give my report followed by the grammarian's report?
Yes.
So we will do that way. Okay, excellent. So I will now just take a couple of minutes to go over my evaluation of the meeting as a whole. And starting with Sarah Mary, who is our president and presiding officer, who I thought did an excellent job at getting the meeting started, introducing people and welcoming our guests and giving them an opportunity to introduce themselves. Our Toastmaster today was Valencia. I love so many things about how you ran the meeting today. I love that you brought in props. I thought that was a very nice touch. It was consistent with your meeting theme. I thought you spoke clearly. You had excellent cadence. I thought you did an excellent job at introducing each speaker, which I think was very intentional because you introduced their name and then their title. And then with a very strong voice, you then introduced their name one more time as a way of welcoming them up and bringing them up to the lecture. So all of us knew that that was about to happen. So excellent job. Debbie, you are our invocation master today. I liked how you gave a history of Toastmasters. I think that's important for us to know and our members to know. And you tickled us a little bit about with enough information to go back and read about it a little bit. You also said an excellent quote, which I wrote down: leaders should strive for authenticity over perfection. And I had never heard that before, and I'm going to add that to my list of quotes. Table topics, David, you did an excellent job with the entire sequence. And what I liked about what you did was, even though you were the table topics master, before you actually started, you made a positive comment about Southpark Toastmasters, how you noticed that our group has grown and we've been making progress. But I think that's just a nice little thing for people to take away, to add if you're invited to speak somewhere. We tend to rush into our speech, but when you're invited, an invited guest somewhere, it doesn't matter where or what, but if you give your host a little compliment, if it's appropriate, then I think that's a very good way to start off and give a speech. I also like how you took control of the segment.
by having several people in mind already, and in a very appropriate way, you offered for them to come up and speak, and you encouraged everyone, including our guest, Michael, who did an excellent job. John, you were the timer, everything was on point, and Carla, I know you're gonna give us your report in a moment, but so far, I just wanted to let you know, I love your choice of word, you gave a great definition, and the history, something I was not familiar with. You also came up here and you used the props and you held them up and you showed them to people on Zoom, and I think you did that really, really well. Comments to our two evaluators. Thank you for giving your evaluations today. That is never easy. I thought both of you had excellent content and most of the key points were there. Just one suggestion, it sometimes helps to divide your feedback into sections, for example, addressing the presenter's content and then addressing their presentation and giving feedback to specific areas like vocal variety. And I thought all that was really there, but sometimes just breaking it up, I think is a good way for us to follow along. Just a couple of closing comments. How could we improve the meeting? One comment is to ask the speakers to always go to the agenda ahead of the meeting and put your pathways and your speech title in the agenda. That way it's in the agenda when we all look at it on the day of the meeting, but it also provides a link for those doing your evaluations to pull off your evaluation sheet and to complete that and give that back to you, which is an important part of the feedback process within that group. And my other comment would be, we started a little bit late. Obviously, there were technical issues. I know that's a common thing with having hybrid meetings, and this is still an early transition for our group, but just something for all of us to keep in mind that maybe we need to, start doing that troubleshooting process just a little bit early. But overall, I think this was an excellent meeting, and I would now like to call upon Carla to give us her grammarian report. So please join me in welcoming Carla.
Well, this was an excellent meeting. The speeches were great. The evaluations are great. The energy was great. And we have a lot of new faces in here that brings a special bonus energy. So I told you earlier, I will be doing 3 things. First thing, shindig. This was a good shindig. And I heard, as a grammarian, you have to listen a lot. For those of you who will take on this role someday. And my brain kind of spaces out sometimes, but this is what I heard. John used it, Dave Jones used it, Sonia used it, Valencia used it, Dr. Alice Ann used it, Laura used it. And I'm going to give Michael, a newbie, a bonus because he used Rager, which is a type of shindig, and you get that bonus. So I want to say great job. As far as ahs, there were mixed reviews on that. I want to say Sonia had none, Sarah Mary had none, Valencia had none, Dr. Alice had none. Everybody else had some. One of the things I noticed at this meeting in particular is that we had quite a few. My challenge is we extended those words so that we, instead of saying we extended words. That's something that we can all work on, is to not take a single syllable word and make it really long so that we can get our brains working. The second thing is that at this meeting, there were a lot of really good analogies. I'm going to bring up 2. One was dance with time is often out of step. Sonia said that. So you can imagine time and being out of steps. That was a good analogy. And Dr. Alexander, you had a good one, which was just like a tire has been blown out in your car, you're not getting anywhere with your attitude. Sonia, your speech was filled with so many great sayings. I can't go over them. We don't have enough time, but thank you for that. Everybody overall did a great job. Interesting again. Thank you very much. And I will turn it back over to the general.
Thank you, Carla, and the rest of our evaluation team. And I'd now like to turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster of the day, Valencia.
Well, we only got the ballots for the best speakers. I didn't get them from the outside.
Thank you, thank you. And I will be quick, but I would love to announce our winner for, let me see, I need to tally a little bit quickly here. So our winner for best today is, drum roll please, Sonia Pine. And we have a winner in the room for table topics, and that is our guest, Michael. We'll make sure that Michael gets his ribbon in the room. And I would like to turn it over to Sarah Mary for any South Park announcements. Thank you.
Thank you so much, V. You did a great job. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. And so before we close the meeting, I just want to get like a 15-second statement from all of our guests on what you thought about our meeting. If you have some past Toastmaster experience, how did it compare? Kayla, are you still with us? Would you like to offer us a little feedback and what your experience was like?
Yes, I thought it was really great. I did have a question. So how do you select who does the speeches? Is there like a sign up, or how does that process go?
That's right. So once you become a member, you'll get a link to our free host page, and that's where the agendas will be posted and you can sign up for them. But what we can do is we'll have our VP of membership reach out to you after this meeting, and we can walk you through all the steps with all the links and everything to get you all set up, or just to answer any questions if you have some remaining.
All right, sounds good. Overall, it was a great shindig.
Oh, good job. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you so much. And if you could just type your email into the chat, that would be perfect. And we'll follow up with you after this.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. All right, Alicia, are you still with us? Would you like to give us a little feedback?
Sure. I thought the meeting went really great. It was a wonderful first impression. The speakers were outstanding. They were absolutely amazing. So I will put my email in the chat if you can follow up with me as well. I have a couple of coworkers who are interested as well.
Oh, awesome. Look at you already recruiting. We're gonna have to put you on the leadership team, girl. Thank you so much, Alicia. Okay, Laura, would you like to?
Yeah, I concur with the two people before me. I thought it was a very well-run meeting. Everyone who had a role seemed to execute it quite well. So you're all on top of that. And the speeches were wonderful. So I learned a lot and really appreciated the opportunity to participate. Thank you.
Oh, awesome, Laura. I'm so glad. And if you'd like us to follow up with you following this meeting, please just place your email in the chat and we'll make sure that we follow up promptly with everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Ben, I know you don't have mic access, but if you have any remarks you'd like to leave in the chat, you feel free. We're glad you chose to participate even without your voice. It's always so nice to have more people on the line. Okay, my friends, we are hitting the time. So, okay, Ben said, good meeting. This was my first experience with Toastmasters. The structure made it easy to follow. Excellent, that's our goal. Let me grab Laura's email from here, and then I am just gonna close out our meeting. So thank you to all of our guests. We will see you same time, same place next week. Good job, my friends. Excellent work. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Sonia.